Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Call the meeting to order at 6 p.m. Can I get a roll call, please?
Michael Cashman.
Present.
Thomas Wood is absent. Robert Hebert.
Here.
Charles Costick.
Here.
Dana Isabella, absent. James Coffey.
Here.
And I am present.
Resolution 214, accept the minutes of the previous meeting.
Resolved that the minutes of August 3rd of 2023 and August 10th of 2023 be accepted and the reading of the minutes be dispensed with.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Seconded.
Ebert, any discussion? Seeing none. Advancing. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution does carry. Just to be clear, this evening we have a section for public comment, and then we also have 2 public hearings. Is there anyone seeking to provide public comment?
No, just listening.
All right, thank you. Resolution 215, the abstract, 10A.
Resolved that the abstract of audited claims number 10A-23 for $665,478.44. Abstract 10A-23 prepays for the amount of $219,483.42. Be received as reviewed by the audit committee, and the supervisor is hereby authorized to pay said abstracts.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Ebert. Is there a second?
Second.
Caustic. Any discussion?
Just want to make a comment that a majority of that amount there is for our signature activity, which is the annual preventative maintenance on the water towers. And Chuck and I were just talking about that, so.
Yep.
Yeah.
Looks good.
Yeah.
But nothing further. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution does carry. And I apologize, I keep looking at my clock, my phone, because we do have a public hearing and I want to stay true to time. So, Resolution 216, monthly department reports.
Resolved to receive and place on file monthly department head reports. Buildings and grounds for August of 2023. Also for August of 2023 is codes and zoning, dog control officer, highway superintendent, parks and recreation, the planning and community development department for August and September of 2023, supervisor's financial report for August of 2023, town clerk for August of 2023, and water and wastewater for August 2023.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Caustic, is there a second?
Seconded.
Ebert. Any discussion? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Resolution does carry. Resolution 217, declaration of lead agency for proposed subdivision regulations for the town of Plattsburgh.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Town Board, hereafter referred to as Town Board, adopted a town comprehensive plan in 2010 and Town Center Smart Growth Plan in 2019, which necessitated a review and update of currently adopted subdivision regulations for the town, as last revised on June 19th of 1978. Whereas the town board received a draft of the proposed subdivision regulations for the town of Plattsburgh for review dated last revised July 14th of 2023, which would replace the existing subdivision regulations for the town of Plattsburgh in its entirety. And whereas the town of Plattsburgh Town Board has also received a Part 1 EAF for proposed action, recension, and adoption of the proposed subdivision regulations. And whereas the town board has the only involved agency pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act, hereinafter SECRA, with respect to reception of the current subdivision law and adoption of the proposed subdivision regulations, seeks to declare itself SECRA lead agency for this action. And whereas the action is a Type 1 action in accordance with SECRA, and whereas the town board seeks to refer the proposed subdivision regulations for the town of Plattsburgh, last revised July 14th of 2023, to the Clinton County Planning for review and recommendation pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 239-M. And whereas the town board seeks to refer the proposed subdivision regulations for the town of Plattsburgh, last revised July 14th of 2023, to the town of Plattsburgh Planning Board for review and recommendation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh in regular session duly convened as follows. 1, the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh hereby declares itself lead agency pursuant to seeker and its implementing regulations at 6 NYCRR section 617.6 B and 1 with respect to the proposed action to rescind the current Town of Plattsburgh subdivision regulations last revised June 19th of 1978 and adopt the proposed subdivision regulations last revised July 14th of 2023. 2, the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh hereby directs the referral of proposed subdivision regulations to Clinton County Planning for review and recommendation pursuant to New York General Municipal Law, Section 239-M. 3, the Town Board hereby directs the referral of the proposed subdivision regulations to the Town of Plattsburgh Planning Board. And 4, the Town Board hereby schedules a special meeting and a public hearing on the proposed subdivision regulations to be held before the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board on October 19th of 2023, commencing at 6:05 p.m. at the Town of Plattsburgh Town Hall, located at 151 Baker Road, Plattsburgh, New York, 12901. And further directs that notice of such public hearing be posted and published in accordance with applicable law.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costa, can I get a roll call, please?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. And giving the time, the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting, public hearing October 5th of 2023. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by the presiding officer at Town Hall on the Banker Road. Notice is given that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board will meet and hold hearings thereon at the Town Hall located in the Banker Road at the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on October 5th, 2023 at 6:05 p.m. prevailing time, in relation to provide citizens adequate opportunity to participate in the review of local law number 3 of 2023, solar energy law, sitting construction and operating of solar energy facilities. Tonight we will accept written comments into the record and also allow for members of the public to provide comments from the floor. Can I get a motion to open the public hearing?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, is there any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call to open the public hearing?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we will officially open the public hearing at 6:06 p.m. At this time, I would ask, is there anyone seeking to provide any comments from the floor? Seeing none, I'll ask the clerk, has anyone provided any written comments that need to be entered into the record?
No.
There are none. We will continue to keep this public hearing open for some time, and we will advance to the other items on the agenda. Back to Resolution 218, reappointment of Zoning Board of Appeals member Mary Ann Alexander.
Whereas Mary Ann Alexander is willing to continue serving as a regular board member on the Zoning Board of Appeals, therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of Town of Plattsburgh does hereby reappoint Mary Ann Alexander to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a term to expire December 31st of 2028. And be it further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the Codes and Zoning Department head, the chairperson of the Zoning Board, and a certified copy also be given to Ms. Alexander. And be it further resolved that Ms. Alexander take an oath of office within 30 days of this resolution.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Costick, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, resolution does carry. Thank you. Resolution 219, Zoning Board of Appeals alternate member, reappointment of Melanie Marr.
Whereas Ms. Melanie Marr is willing to continue to serve as an alternate member for the Zoning Board of Appeals, therefore be it resolved that per local law number 1 of 1999 and with the attached letter of recommendation of Stephen Heimhoff, Codes Enforcement Department Head, the Town Board does hereby reappoint Ms. Marr to the Zoning Board of Appeals for a 3-year term to expire December 31st of 2026. And be it further resolved that Ms. Marr take an oath of office within 30 days of this resolution, and be it resolved that further resolved that a certified copy of this resolution be given to Ms. Marr, Stephen Imhoff, the Codes and Zoning Department Head, and the chairperson of the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion?
Just want to thank Ms. Alexander and Ms. Marr for their service to the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Great. Anything further? Seeing none, all those in favor please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, resolution does carry. Resolution 220, purchase of repair kits.
Whereas the Water and Wastewater Department has pressure reducing valves to be maintained for the town's water system, and whereas Ross Valve has submitted documentation stating Ross Valve is the only vendor to manufacture any Ross Valve manufacturing product, and whereas Ross Valve is the sole manufacturer of Ross Valve manufacturing products, therefore be it resolved that the purchase of 4 Ross Valve repair kits be awarded to Ross Valve in the amount of $9,121 be approved, and it is further resolved that payment be made from payable from the 2023 Water and Wastewater budget account as stated here, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the Water and Wastewater Department and Budget Officer.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Sosnick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, is there any discussion?
These are just the normal course. This is on the shelf in case we have an issue. Something that's broke right now.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, resolution does carry. I'm gonna wait like 30 seconds to open this public hearing. Just like that, a little bit less. The Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting, public hearing, October 5th of 2023. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by the presiding officer at the Town Hall on the Becker Road. Further notice is hereby given that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh will meet and hold a public hearing thereon at the Town Hall located on the Becker Road in the Town of Plattsburgh, Lynn County, New York, on Thursday, October 5th, 2023 at 6:10 p.m. Prevailing time in relationship to the proposed local law number 4 of 2023, a local law imposing a 12-month moratorium of applications for battery-based energy storage systems. Tonight, we will accept written comments into the record if there are any, and also provide an opportunity for comments from the floor. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Ostick, is there any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. We will officially open the public hearing at 6:11 p.m. Is there anyone seeking to provide any comments from the floor? Seeing none, I will ask the clerk, has anyone provided any written comments to be placed in the record?
No.
Seeing none, we will advance to further resolutions and pick up both of the public hearings in a little bit. Resolution 221, repaving Everest Rabideau Cumberland Head parking lot.
Whereas the Parks and Recreation Department must maintain the value and use of all parks within the town of Plattsburgh, and whereas there is a need to resurface the parking lot at the Cumberland Head Everest Rabideau Recreation Park, and whereas resurfacing is to be completed by the Highway Department with paving materials purchased through the Clinton County contract in the amount not to exceed $20,000 to be made payable from the Park Improvements account as stated here for 2023. Therefore be it resolved that the town board does hereby authorize the resurfacing of the basketball court, and that the supervisor is hereby authorized to sign all related documents relative to the resurfacing of the Cumberland Head Everest Rabideau Recreation Park parking lot, and it is further resolved that a copy of this resolution be given to the finance manager and the youth services and recreation director.
Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, and just a correction on there was a reference to a basketball court, that's not the reference.
It's the parking lot.
Yeah, it's the parking lot. I would just say that I'm really glad that we're able to get this done.
Absolutely.
It's one of the more popular parks in the sense of soccer and so on and so forth. So we've strategically been working on this for a little while, and I want to thank Greg and his team for, making sure that this gets in the schedule. So with nothing further, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Resolution is carried. Resolution 222, Highway Department requests to purchase a Kubota tractor and twin flare mowers.
Whereas the town of Plattsburgh Highway Superintendent has requested approval to purchase a Kubota tractor and twin flare mowers to be utilized by the town of Plattsburgh Highway Department. And whereas procedures for purchase of commodities, equipment, or goods and contract values requires the town to solicit price quotes for amounts in excess of $5,000. And whereas Greg Brunel, Highway Superintendent, has complied with the New York State OGS procurement requirements for acquisition by the completion of the competitive mini bid process. Therefore be it resolved that the Kubota tractor be purchased from Dragoons Farm Equipment using Sourcewell contract pricing for $70,076.86. and the twin flare mowers purchased from Stevenson Equipment, Inc. using NYS OGS contract pricing in the amount of $52,902, be approved, and be it further resolved that said purchase be made payable from the 2024 highway budget equipment and capital outlay account as stated here, and that a copy of this resolution be given to the highway superintendent and finance manager.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Ostick, is there any discussion?
I know we had lengthy discussion about this at Fleet,
Yeah.
so, long overdue. This is one or two that are gonna be replaced over the next few years, so.
And-
This one, the one that we're replacing here spent more time going back and
Okay.
forth to get
Yeah.
repaired than it ever did
And there's awful,
cutting on the side of the pole.
Yeah.
So,
and
time to go.
careful orchestration when you look at
Yeah.
delivery time, lead time of these
Yeah,
things. So
yeah, it needs,
to the highway department's credit, they're working very
yeah, we'll
diligently
have
on
it
this
for
stuff.
next year.
Yeah.
All right. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye, resolution does carry. Resolution 223, appointment of Stephen Waldron as maintenance worker 2 in the water and wastewater department.
Whereas Stephen Waldron currently serves as the superintendent of buildings and grounds and has applied for a posted vacancy within the water and wastewater department, and whereas Stephen Waldron desires a transition from his current role in buildings and grounds to the water and wastewater department, and this shift will result in the vacancy of the superintendent of the buildings and grounds position upon the enactment of this resolution. And whereas Stephen Waldron fulfills all prerequisites for the role of water wastewater maintenance worker 2, and be it resolved that the town of Plattsburgh Town Board approves Stephen Waldron's appointment to the position of water wastewater maintenance worker 2 as proposed with an hourly compensation of $26.86. This appointment becomes effective Friday, October 6th of 2023, immediately upon approval, and aligns with the stipulations of the current teacher's agreement, incorporating a 12-week probation period. And be it also resolved that supervisor is authorized to finalize all essential paperwork concerning Stephen Waldron's full-time permanent designation to the role of water and wastewater maintenance worker 2. And be it further resolved that a verified copy of this resolution should be provided to the finance manager and the director of the water and wastewater department. A certified copy be placed in his personnel file.
Is there a motion?
So move.
Ostick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none. Can I get a roll call?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. Resolution does carry. Thank you. Resolution 224. Gotta go back to the public hearings. All right. The Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting, public hearing, October 5th. The meeting was called to order at 6 p.m. by the presiding officer at the Town Hall on the Bank Road. And again, further notice was given that the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh met to hold a public hearing thereon at the Town Hall located at the Bank Road in the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton County, New York, on Thursday, October 5th, 2023, at 6:10 p.m. prevailing time, in relationship to the proposed local law number 4 of 2023, a local law imposing a 12-month moratorium on applications for battery-based energy storage systems. This evening, we provided the opportunity for written comments to be placed into the record, as well as comments from the floor. I will ask one remaining time. Is there anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor? Is there anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor? Is there anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor?
And battery packs, because why would you want to not allow battery packs?
So a public hearing isn't a forum, an exchange back and forth. I will make one editorial for clarity. Batteries in particular, the state has seen numerous fires around the state. A moratorium is a period of which we are putting it on ice. Doesn't mean no forever, but we are looking for further guidance through New York State and other agencies at the moment for safety, particularly our volunteer fire departments, which have expressed concern. All right. Again, I'll ask the clerk, no written comments placed in the record, correct?
No.
Okay. Seeing nothing further, I would accept a motion to close this public hearing.
So move.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Can I get a roll call, please?
Thomas Wood is absent. Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, we We will close this public hearing at 6:18 p.m. Back to the other public hearing. The Town of Plattsburgh Town Board monthly meeting, public hearing, October 5th, 2023. Again, notice was given that the Town of Plattsburgh Town Board will meet and hold a public hearing thereon at the Town Hall located at the Bank Road at the Town of Plattsburgh, Clinton, New York, Clinton County, New York, on October 5th at 6:05 p.m. Prevailing time in relation to provide citizens adequate opportunity to participate in the review of the local law number 3 of 2023, solar law, sitting, construction, and operating of solar energy facilities. Is there anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor? Anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor? Is there anyone seeking to provide comments from the floor? And again, for clarity, the clerk has not received any written comments from her office, and I have not either. So, seeing nothing further, then I would accept a motion to close this public hearing.
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
I'll stick. Can I get a roll call, please?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes. We will officially close this public hearing at 6:20 p.m. Now going back, Resolution 224, Solar Local Law Number 3 of 2023, Seeker Determination.
Whereas the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh is considering adoption of an amendment to the Town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law for the following purposes. The Solar Energy Local Law Amendment is intended to advance and protect public health, safety, and welfare of Town of Plattsburgh residents by creating regulations for the installation and use of solar energy generating systems and equipment with the following objectives. 1, to mitigate the potential impacts of solar energy systems on environmental resources such as important agricultural lands, forests, open spaces, wildlife, and other protected resources. And 2, to identify the ideal locations for solar energy development and to avoid conflict with other land use goals, regulations, and long-term plans. And 3, to allow for well-planned development of a safe, abundant, renewable, and non-polluting energy source. 4, to decrease the cost of electricity to the owners of residential and commercial properties, including single-family houses. 5, to increase employment and business development in the town, to the extent reasonably practical by providing a defined framework for review of solar energy systems projects. And whereas Part 617 of the State Environmental Quality Review, Section 8-0113 of the Environmental Conservation Law, provides for the review of projects which constitute an action with respect to the effect of such projects on the environment. And whereas the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh has adopted the provisions of Part 617, the State Environmental Quality Review, and whereas a determination of the effect of said project or action on the environment is necessary to determine whether a draft environmental impact statement is required. And whereas the effects of the project or action on the environment are to be examined by all involved agencies. And whereas the Town Board has before it the project or action known as the Town of Plattsburgh Solar Local Law of the year 2023. And whereas the project is hereby determined to be a Type 1 action requiring the assessment as to its effect upon the environment with a coordinated review. And whereas the Town Board is hereby determined to be a lead agency, and if no objection is made from any other involved agency, the lead agency, in accordance with Part 617 of the Seeker, for purposes of assessing the effect of the project on the environment and determining whether said effect is sufficiently significant to require the preparation of a draft environmental impact statement. And whereas Clinton County and all adjacent towns in the city of Plattsburgh and any involved agencies were provided notice of the proposed action, and whereas no additional involved agencies were identified and no objections to the town's request for lead agency status were received, and whereas a duly noticed public hearing was held on October 5th of 2023 at the regularly scheduled meeting of the Town Board for the purposes of hearing public comment on the proposed local law, and no comments were received, and whereas the Town Board, acting as an involved agency and as the lead agency, has received a completed full environmental assessment form parts 1 and 2 prepared by town planning staff and related materials giving information about the project and its potential effects on the environment together with all written comments and written evidence of oral comments provided by involved agencies. collectively the environmental compliance file. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh, New York as follows. That the Town Board of the Town of Plattsburgh, after review of the said draft of Town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law, completed EAF Parts 1 and 2, and related materials, does hereby determine as lead agency for the seeker review process that the project will not have a significant effect on the environment, therefore the preparation of a DEIS is not required, and it be further resolved that the Town Board does hereby authorize completion and execution of the EAF Part 3, and declare that the project and environmental review process considered for the development does adequately and sufficiently satisfy the requirements of the State Environmental Quality Review Act for the project. And be it further resolved that the Town Board of the Town does hereby authorize and direct the supervisor to have prepared a notice of no significant environmental impact for the project. The notice of no significant environmental impact shall be disseminated to those involved agencies and governmental units as required by the Environmental Conservation Law and any local law of the town, and the environmental compliance file as aforesaid shall be maintained on file at the town hall offices of the town board and be made available for public inspection at regular business hours of the town. This resolution will become effective immediately upon its adoption by the town board of the town of Plattsburgh.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call, please?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 225, Solar Energy Local Law Number 3 of 2023.
Whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh desires to amend the town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law of 2018 for the following purposes. This solar energy local law is intended to advance and protect the public health, safety, and welfare of town of Plattsburgh residents by creating regulations for the installation and use of solar energy generating systems and equipment with the following objectives. 1, to mitigate the potential impacts of solar energy systems on environmental resources such as important agricultural lands, forests, open spaces, wildlife, and other protected resources. And 2, to identify the ideal locations for solar energy development and to avoid conflict with other land use goals, regulations, and long-term plans. 3, to allow for well-planned development of a safe, abundant, renewable, and non-polluting energy resource. 4, to decrease the cost of electricity to the owners of the residential and commercial properties, including single-family houses. And 5, to increase employment and business development in the town to the extent reasonably practical by providing a defined framework for review of solar energy systems projects. And whereas notice of said public hearing was duly advertised in the Press Republic and the official newspaper of Town of Plattsburgh on September 28th of 2023, and in Town Hall and the town website. And whereas said public hearing was duly held on October 5th at 6:05 at Town Hall, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf of or in opposition to said proposed local law or any part thereof. And whereas pursuant to 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8 State Environmental Quality Review Act, it has been determined by the town of Plattsburgh that the adoption of said proposed local law would not have a significant effect upon the environment and could be processed by other applicable governmental agencies without further regard to seeker. And whereas Clinton County Planning Board deemed the proposed solar energy local law approved by a vote of 7-0, with comments to be a local issue on October 4th of 2023, pursuant to section 239-M of the General Municipal Law. And whereas it is in the opinion of members of the town board that it is the best interest of the town of Plattsburgh would be served by the adoption of said proposed amendment to the town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law and prompt filing of said law as adopted with the Department of State of the State of New York in order for said local law to become effective at the earliest possible date. And now therefore be it resolved that the proposed amendment to the town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law as aforementioned be hereby adopted as the town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law. It is further resolved that the town clerk is hereby directed to cause said town of Plattsburgh Solar Energy Local Law to be duly filed with the Department of State of the State of New York as required by section 27, subdivision 1 of the Municipal Home Rule Law.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Costick, is there a second?
Second.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, can I get a roll call?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
and Michael Cashman.
Yes, resolution does carry. Resolution 226, resolution authorizing the adoption of the town board of the town of Plattsburgh of local law number 4 of 2023, imposing a 12-month moratorium of applications for battery-based energy storage systems.
Whereas a resolution was duly adopted by the town board of the town of Plattsburgh for a public hearing to be held by said governing body on October 5th of 2023 at 6:05 p.m. at the town of Plattsburgh, 151 Bankers Road in Plattsburgh, New York, to hear all interested parties on a proposed local law entitled Local Law Number 4 of 2023, imposing a 12-month moratorium of applications for battery-based energy storage systems. And whereas notice of said public hearing was duly advertised in the Press Republican, the official newspaper of said town, on September 28th of 2023, and whereas said public hearing was duly held on October 5th of 2023 at 6:05 at 151 Baker Road in Plattsburgh, New York, and all parties in attendance were permitted an opportunity to speak on behalf of or in opposition to said proposed local law, or any part thereof. And whereas pursuant to Part 617 of the implementing regulations pertaining to Article 8 State Environmental Quality Review Act, it has been determined by the town board of the town of Plattsburgh that this is a type 2 action, and no further review will be and could be processed by other applicable governmental agencies without further regard to seeker. And whereas the town board of the town of Plattsburgh, after due deliberation, finds it in the best interest of the town to adopt and said local law. Therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Plattsburgh hereby adopts said local law number 4 of 2023, entitled A Local Law Imposing a 12-month Moratorium of Applications for Battery-Based Energy Storage Systems, a copy of which is attached here to and made part of this resolution. Be it further resolved that the town clerk be and she hereby is directed to enter the said local law in the minutes of the meeting and in the local law book of the town of Plattsburgh, and to give due notice of the adoption of the said local law to the Secretary of State of New York.
Is there a motion?
So moved.
Hebert, is there a second?
Second.
Austin, is there any discussion? Seeing none. Can I get a roll call?
Barbara Hebert,
Yes.
Charles Costick,
Yes.
Michael Cashman,
Yes. Resolution does carry. I know of no need to have an executive session this evening, so I would entertain a motion to adjourn. Is there a motion?
So.
Costick, is there a second?
Seconded.
Hebert, any discussion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We will adjourn at 6:31 p.m. Have a wonderful evening.
Thank you.
Have you ever gallon of water?
I know I popped by with Steve, I'm off today, yeah, and then,